Hey everyone, Leo with the Dreaming Tree, and welcome to the assembly video for our Merry Mug Box. Now recently, probably within the last year or so, Cricut released their mug press, and a lot of you have been making mugs using the mug press. This box is specifically for the holidays and is geared towards the 12-ounce box. So I'll give you some more details on that here in a second, but I've got everything cut out here and ready to go, so let's just hop right into it. First thing we're going to do is, well, first off, you want to make sure that you fold all of your pieces here. And this box does have a transparent window. So you could leave it just transparent. You don't have to put the little acetate on it. You can see I'm holding the acetate there, but if you want, we have that available for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by putting some glue around the tree here to get our acetate in place, and then to make it look nice, actually added a little panel that goes over it to hide this, because this glue is going to show through. So you're going to put your acetate in place, make sure that you have it covering the actual cutout, okay? And then you'll see that we have this panel here, and that's going to go right on top of it, like so. You just want to make sure that you keep it within the confines of the edge here, the score line here, and these two tabs. Okay, so I'm actually going to put glue on this piece here rather than putting it on that surface, so I know exactly where the glue needs to go. And we have one for each side. Okay, so you can put the acetate down on this side. Before we put the acetate on this side, we want to join this section together. Okay, so just to kind of give you an idea of how the box is structured, how it's laid out. This is the bottom, this is one of the sides, this is another side, this is where the handle is going to stick out, and this is the actual opening here. Okay, so you kind of want to leave it out, lay it out like this. But before we put that other acetate in place, let's get this tab glued in place here. Okay, so let's get our glue on there. I'm going to spread that glue out to the very edge of the tab. Okay, we just want to make sure that we're doing this correctly. Can actually just put this down right next to it, line it up, and then press that tab down. When you do that, you can actually take it and fold it over onto itself. And just make sure that this side here, this edge, is lined up with this edge here on this section, and that will be a good indicator that you've got it lined up correctly. Okay, so now we can go ahead and put our acetate on the other side. And now you see why I did that, because technically we might be putting a little bit of glue right on that tab. You could probably get away with it without gluing that tab down first, but it's always easier to glue paper on top of paper rather than paper on top of acetate. Acetate's not very porous, and it may not hold that paper in place very well. Okay, so now that we have that, what we can go ahead and do is put our panels in place over this, like so. And again, as I mentioned, make sure that you keep everything within the confines of this edge, this score mark, and this score mark, as well as this edge. You don't want it going over across any of those sections, because then the box won't fold. Okay, so just get your glue on there nicely. And pop that right into place, like so. And while you're pressing it down, again, make sure that it's not obstructing any of these areas from folding, and press that down until it's set. And that's just going to make the inside look really nice. Okay, there we go. Now let's grab our other one. As you can see, I started putting glue on it, and it's already dried up, but that's okay. There we go. And we'll do the same thing with this side. Just pop that into place. You're going to see a little bit of the tree from the other side peeking through here, and that's totally by design. Okay, and again, make sure that you're not obstructing any of the edges here, these tabs, and so on. And press that down. Okay, and now we're going to flip this over. While we have it flat, we're going to add some panels, and what I want to do is do this so that, well, we know exactly where they're going. This piece here, where the handle is going to poke through, it's going to match up with this cutout perfectly. So if you do it this way, you'll notice that it does fit, but you've got more of, in this case, pink showing here, and it's really lined up against that. We don't want that. We want to flip it so that we have a nice even border going all the way around. So that one's going there. Obviously, this one is going onto the tree. There are also some little score marks here to help you with the placement of these pieces. So that one's going to go there. This one is going to go here. And then we've got a couple more here. Obviously, this one is going to go down here. And this one's going here. And this one's going here. Okay, so we just need to get these glued down. So let's get that going. And it's going to be pretty straightforward. We'll make sure to put the dimensions. Am I doing this right? Make sure to put the dimensions of the mug on the website so that you know you're using the correct mug for this, because anything over 12 ounces, I actually have some measurements on this thing. It's 3.77 inches tall, and it's 3.22 inches in diameter or width. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're making this. You probably, based on how we have it set up, I think you could probably make it bigger. I have not tested that out yet because we made this specifically for that size, but I'm sure some of you will, but note that it is specifically for the 12-ounce mug. I know they have a few other sizes, and we checked, and a lot of them are out of stock. Okay, so I'm putting this down, and again, I'm using these little score marks here to guide me with the positioning on this, just to make sure that I get it right. And then, of course, it doesn't hurt to take a look and use your eyes to make any slight adjustments, because those score marks, while mostly accurate, depending on how you lay it down, may not be totally on point. Okay, so we'll get this one going, and then the rest of it is going to be pretty straightforward. This is going to be a pretty quick project, as are all three of the projects in this bundle, which is great because, come Christmas time, you don't have a lot of time to put these little gift bags together, so we wanted to keep them quick and efficient, but also pretty. And I think the team has accomplished just that. Okay, so let me see here. Yeah, that's going to be that's our top. And we're not going to put glue on any of these tabs. These are just to kind of slide in. Okay, so let's finish this up. And now one other thing too is I'm going to pretend like it's together, and you can see which way the patterns are going here. So with this piece that's going here, I probably want to keep the patterns going the same way. And in this case, I don't really think it matters, but I did notice that this little branch here with these leaves is pointing up. So I'm going to stick with that, and I'm going to do it in this orientation. Now, if you have a pattern that really doesn't have an up or down, it's not going to be an issue, but just be conscious of that in case it does. If you have some kind of writing on it, maybe if there's some Christmas lyrics on it or something like that, just be aware that it can make a difference, and just pop it in place correctly. Okay, so there's that one. All right, this is the bottom, this is the top. I don't think the bottom really matters that much as far as how you put it down, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. I don't think anyone's going to be really looking at the bottom, but this is also to kind of give it a little extra strength. Okay, so we got that in place, just like that. And then we have one more here. And again, let's just take a look here. That's our top. So you know what? This one doesn't really matter. We can just put that one down however. Okay, so we've got the panels in place. Next, we're actually going to build the box, and then we just have some ribbon to put on there. And in this case, it's going to be like a paper ribbon, like a faux paper ribbon, and a bow as well. This bow is a little bit different from our usual bows because we've got a lot more loops on it, but it's gonna be cool. You can see this box is coming out really sharp too. Okay, so again, we're not putting any glue on that, but what we do need to do is, first off, we're gonna take and put glue on this tab and glue it to this section here where the little handle is gonna stick out. So let's go ahead and apply our glue to this tab. And I'm gonna spread that glue out to the very edge, like that. And we'll bring this portion up and press it up against that tab. Make sure it's nice and lined up. There we go. You can actually put that down on your surface and press on the tab from the inside just to make sure that the rest of that makes good contact. There we go, beautiful. And now we can take and put glue on this tab here, like so, and spread that out. Hopefully you can keep this to under about 30 minutes. I know I do a lot of talking during the videos, so hopefully once you watch it once, you can get it, or if you actually follow along while you assemble, we'll try to keep it nice and quick. Okay, and the cool thing is too, is if you're making a special custom mug for a child or whoever, you know, you can use specialty papers, you know, whether it be like, I don't know if they even make it, I'm sure you can print your own out, you know, like Fortnite or Minecraft or any of the Disney stuff that's going on. But anyway, so we got to close up the top here. We're going to put some glue on these two tabs. Then we're going to take this little lid and flip it down onto these two tabs. And again, I'm taking and using my finger to kind of brush that glue out to the very edge of the tab so everything looks nice and crisp and clean. Get that lined up with these two tabs. Nice and aligned, nice and crisp and clean. Okay, once we've got it lined up, you can put it down upside down and press down on the tabs from the inside. There we go, and voila. Okay, so let's take a look here. Let me grab my mug, and we'll pop it in there just to kind of hold it in place for us. It's actually a pretty sturdy box. Okay, so we can just pop it right in, and the handle should pop right out. Beautiful. And then this is going to go in, and that's going to get tucked in as well. Whoops. Make sure that you tuck that in nicely. Okay, so you could just leave it like that. Oops, I didn't push that in all the way. There we go. Could just technically leave it like that, but of course this is Dreaming Tree, and we've got a few more little things to add to it to make it a little extra pretty. Okay, so first thing is we've got this piece here. Let me take the mug out for now. And this piece here is going to go down like this. Okay, you'll see that on these sides here, we have some little cutouts for the tree. This one is, let me make sure it's centered. On this side, it's going to terminate right at the edge of the box, and then this one's going to kind of come over and terminate right at the top of where the handle comes out. So what I would suggest is putting glue on just the main part of it first. Go easy on it. I wouldn't spread too much out to the side, just a little bit. We don't want any of that glue seeping out. Okay, and of course, again, we want it to go this way. Before you commit to putting it in place, kind of bring it down and watch where the little folds are. Okay, just like that. And then just make sure that you have it centered right on the tree top on this side and this side. We haven't put any glue on that yet, so it's not going to stick, but go ahead and press it down once you're sure you have it in the right section. Just press that section down. That looks really nice. This is that POW glitter. So it's like a fake glitter, but it looks really good. Okay, then we can go ahead and put some glue on each of these little tails here. And don't overdo it on the glue. If you got too much on there, just kind of hit it with your finger and then press that down. It should line up with that tree perfectly. There we go. And then let's go over here, do the same thing. like that. And I'm kind of taking and dabbing that with my finger and also spreading that glue out to the very edge of the tail here. And that fits perfectly, beautifully engineered. Okay, and that just leaves one more little section here. Just throw a little bit of glue on there. Try to get it out to the very end of it. And press that down into place. Give that a second to set. There we go. Okay, so that's the top. Now for the sides, we have 3 little pieces like this, okay? And I need to fold this a little bit better so it really goes in there. There we go. Let's tuck that in real quick. Okay. And for the sides here, we've got 2 larger pieces and then like 1 smaller one. So these are a little bit taller. This one's a little bit shorter. The shorter one is going on the handle side right here. And that's just to kind of add some continuity to it so it looks complete. So we just hit that with a few little dots of glue. You can kind of squiggle it around, get it on there, and we'll pop it into place. Just kind of try to keep it centered on the box here so it just looks nice and continuous. It should be flush with the opening and then also flush with the bottom. It should fit on there perfectly, just like that. Okay, give that one more press, and then we'll head over to this side where we have the tree, and that's going to go on just like this. It should go right below, in my case, the little pink inset there. Okay, and I think these are just square. So let's go ahead and throw a couple dots of glue on here. Hit that with my finger, thin it out, and pop that into place. Just make sure you keep it centered, as centered as you can get it. And if it helps, you can always take a little ruler, find the edge of that, and then if you need to kind of nudge it over a little bit, you can do that. I'm using this glitter paper, and it's pretty forgiving. It gives me a few extra seconds to move it around. Okay, so that looks nice. And then we'll go over to the other side, finish that off, and then we just need to put our bow together. And there we go. Okay, so now on the actual, we'll call it the lid, even though it's on the side, we have this little piece here that's going to get glued right to the center. Okay, and what we want to make sure is that we don't put any glue on this section here. This is folded, there's a little score mark there. We're actually going to put some Velcro on there, and that's going to help keep it closed. So what we want to do again is place this right in the center. Okay, and I think you could pretty much eyeball where the center is. Shouldn't be a problem. So let's get our glue on this guy here, all the way down to the very end. Okay, and I'm actually going to lay this down flat. And you can actually, if you want, you can tuck this in and use this, the top part, as kind of a guide to make sure that you have it centered. That's very helpful. And then just press that down into place. Okay, and then you can actually push that down on your table to really work that glue into the 2 pieces of paper here. Make sure it really sticks. Okay. And finally, to get this thing closed, you should probably, if you don't have these already, get yourself a set. These little Velcro dots, these are great. Whoops. So what I'll do is I'll peel the backing off of one side, and I'm going to put it right on the back of this, and I'll pull the backing off the other side, so we have the 2 Velcro strips connected to each other without any backing. And we'll slide it in, make sure the tabs are in all the way, and then you can push it down onto the other part of this ribbon, and then voila, there you go. Whoops. I did not let that dry completely. That's why that happened. I jumped the gun. So don't do that. I'm going to clean that up here. There's a little tip for you. If you need to throw a little bit of glue into an area that is kind of hard to put glue on, you can do that. And actually, you know what, because this is that POW glue, I can actually bend it back and just fix it. I might have not even had enough glue on there, but I also rushed, so don't do that. Okay, we'll push that back up against that piece. I'll press it down, and this time I'm gonna be patient and wait until we finish the bow before I move on here. But before we do that, we do have two little stars that go on the tree. You'll notice that when you look at the points on the stars, there's one that looks kind of odd, and that's because it fits right over that round part of the star. So that needs to be pointing down. I'm gonna throw just a couple little dots of glue on that, and we'll pop that into place like so. Okay, now I'm doing foil on glitter. So that is another thing you might need to be patient with once you start mixing mediums like that. And I've got one more star, and then I'll show you how easy it is to put the little bow together. It's actually really cool and not difficult at all. Okay, just putting a little bit of glue on my other star and popping that into place. Got lots of little details on here that is going to make this really cool. And of course, this box would still be cool without a lot of these details. So if you're mass producing and you kind of need to maybe cut some things out of the process, I think it'll still look really cool. Okay, so there we go. I'm gonna check my other star, it looks good. I'm gonna let this set for a minute while I show you how to put the bow together. So these are the strips that we need to create the bow. What I'm doing right now is just kind of laying them out so I can kind of gauge their size, because we do need to do this in a certain order. We're going to start with the largest sizes and then work our way down. So as you can see, we've got these two are the longest, and then second longest, and then the shortest. Okay, so if you take a look at these, you'll notice, maybe it's more visible this way, there are two score marks here, and then a set of score marks here and a set of score marks here. What we're doing is we're taking this, bringing it in, we're going to put glue within the boundary of the edge and the score mark on that side. We're going to bring that in and glue it to in between these two little score marks. So you can literally just take this edge and line it up with the second score mark from this side, and that would be the center. Okay, and then just press and hold that down. Now I'm working with this is that POW glitter, as I mentioned, and it is more flexible than regular paper. So if you are using standard cardstock to make these bows, what I may suggest is that you take a dowel and give them a little bit of a curve. Just kind of curl them. So take the strip, place it between a dowel and your finger, and just kind of, it's going to be flat, bring it up 90 degrees, and then run the dowel through it, and that's going to give it a nice curve so that when you do bring it in, it is less likely to crease. Okay, so I'm going back over here to the other side, putting the glue in between the edge and the score mark, and then I'm going to take this edge and line it up with the score mark that you can see there from the other side, and that is going to create one of the loops. Okay. So this is, again, it is going to be helpful to kind of keep these separated so that you know what's what as far as the length goes. Okay, be patient with this. If you have some clothespins, you can probably pop that in between some clothespins just to keep it closed. I'm just going to use a tweezer. I got some gunk on my tweezers here. I don't know what that's from. I'm just going to use that to kind of hold it closed. And then I'll do the other one here. Same thing, same process here. I'm just going to take and put some glue in between the edge and the score mark Bring it in, take this edge, put it up against not the first score mark, but the second one. Line it up with that second one there. And then just press and hold that in place. And then you can take and apply your glue to the other side. Bring that in, press it up against that other score mark there that you can see. And hold that down in place. Make sure it's nice and centered. And just continue holding that. Again, if you're using standard cardstock, I think this process is going to go a lot quicker for you because, well, the glue just gets into the little pores of the paper a lot easier than this. You know, this POW glitter has like almost like a plastic, very smooth back, and that doesn't always want to hold very well unless you're really holding it for a long time. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of stack these like that. Okay. Now, if you want to use hot glue, you can. I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue right here in the center. Take the other one and just kind of make an X or a plus, whatever you want to call it. Try to keep it nice and centered, and then just press that down. This is where, again, what did I just call it? You know what I'm talking about. Boy, we don't use those anymore. I guess you could use a paper clip too, but let me see what else I could possibly use to hold that down. I think it's fine. And if all else fails, I think I might need to get my hot glue gun out. That's right, a clothespin. I'm silly. Okay, so we'll do the same thing with the remaining pieces, but again, just make sure that you're aware of the size on each of them. You'll notice that we have the same set of score marks here. Just going to bring those in and line it up with not the first, but the second one. Get that centered. Press that down. And I had too much glue on that one. That's okay though. We'll do the same thing here. Bring that in, line it up with the score mark on top of the other green piece here. And there we go. I'm going to hold that down while that sets. And these seem to be holding pretty well. So, but I'm going to need some hot glue for that, for sure. Just because it's not ever going to really sit flat. There's too much going on. I think hot glue would be the way to go with this. Okay, so that one looks good. I'm going to do the same thing here, and then we will wrap it up. So I was actually tempted to get a mug press. I never pulled the trigger on it because I just haven't had time. I've got so much other stuff going on with Dreaming Tree and paper crafts that I don't really get a lot of time to work with vinyl. I've got the heat press, I've got all that stuff. Just never have time to do it. But it's definitely, you can definitely make paper items to go along with that stuff. I know many of you like to dabble with pretty much anything and everything. Cricut and ScanNCut and silhouette related, and I don't blame you. A lot of fun stuff out there to work with. Okay, so there's the other one for this, and I will take and just pop that right on top of the other one, so I know that this is first, this is second, and now we're going to do the smallest one here. So same process, it's just the length is a little bit less. And actually, you know what? You could probably just put glue on both sides. Just get that out of the way. Line it up with that second score mark, and then take this one, pop it right on top of the other score mark, and press and hold that together. Now use some chalk ink on this gold glitter, and the chalk, well, it's like it says, it's chalk, and it is coming off on my fingers, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Okay, so that one's pretty good. And we'll finish it up with the last one here while my hot glue gun is warming up. Again, take it in, not on the first one, but on the second score mark. And hold that in place. You can take this one, and there is a score mark on top of this. Just line it up with that score mark, the very edge. And press that down. I think I already forgot which one's the bigger one. Yeah, that's the biggest one. This is the smallest one. They're really not that much bigger or smaller. What's going to happen is when we start putting these on top of each other, they're going to start creating some volume, vertical volume, we'll call it. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I'm going to take and let's see if my glue gun is fired up. I believe it is. Okay, so my hot glue gun is almost there, enough to get going here. So hot glue gun is fired up mostly. Throw a little bit of hot glue there in the center. Grab, this is the largest piece, and this is the other part of the larger piece. And just get that nice and centered on there. Make sure the hot glue is nice and hot so that everything sticks. There you go. Okay, and we'll go to the next largest size, and we're gonna go this way. Just wanna make sure that we get it centered. Okay, so go ahead and pop your glue right in the middle. Don't be afraid to throw some glue on there. And press that down. You can see what's starting to happen here. You can see that it's kind of lifting it up, the vertical volume that I was telling you about. Okay, next little dollop of glue going this way now. And don't be afraid to push this down in the center. It's totally fine. Like that. Okay. And then finally, we're going to go this way. Like that. And this one should really start kind of folding in on itself, which is what we want. Just make sure you get that nice and centered. There we go. And the last one's going here. And that glue is nice and hot now. Just kind of alternating back and forth here. And there we go. Get that nice and centered. Okay. And it wouldn't hurt to, once this is completely dried, kind of bring this in and fold it in a little bit. Now, because I'm using this glitter paper, it's a little more flexible, so it doesn't really want to fold up as much, but we can kind of force it to come into the center more. We want these center ones to really be taken up, and there you go. All right, so all that's left to do now, you can hot glue it, or you can use a little foam square or a pop dot, whatever it may be. Just gonna pop that right in the center. I'm actually going to use a little bit of hot glue since it's glitter. I don't want it to come off at all. And instead of going this way, we're gonna go sideways, create a little crisscross thing going on here. Try to get it nice and centered. You can stick your finger in there to really help push down on that. And there you have it. We can take our little mug, pop the handle through, close it up. We got our Velcro, and voila. So that's it. Look at that. Awesome. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna take, and we've got these little cutouts here. Anytime you see a cutout like this, that usually tells you, hey, you know what, maybe throw a little bling on there. So I'm gonna put some pearls on there to finish it up, and that'll do it. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, take a moment and visit our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. While you're there, hit the little bell so that you get notifications anytime we release a new product, whether it be paid or free. And if you like this or anything from our new bundle, I would love to see it, and so would the rest of our community. So head over to your Facebook and do a search for Dreaming Tree Group, or you can type in this little URL that you see at the bottom of your screen. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, I look forward to crafting with you again. Hey, thanks for crafting along with me. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out some of our other videos, and also please consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to visit our site and check out our free SVG section, where we have over 140 free SVG files complete with assembly videos. I look forward to crafting with you soon.